Before Trump took the stage, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham was mercilessly booed by the crowd of Republicans from his own state. Later on, Trump did little to defend Graham and instead goaded his supporters into booing the senator even more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome United States Senator Lindsey Graham.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you can make mistakes on occasion. Even Lindsey down here, Senator Lindsey Graham. We love Senator Graham. We're gonna love him. We're gonna love him. I know, it's half and half, but when I need some of those liberal votes, he's always there to help me get them, okay? We got some pretty liberal people, but he's good. He's there when you need him. He's there when you need him. I'm gonna get him straightened out.
Sam Stein, with friends like these, I mean, Lindsey Graham is someone who has, by many accounts, sullied his reputation over and over and over by his robust defense of Donald Trump. Yes, he broke with him occasionally on some foreign policy issues. Yes, he briefly did the night of January 6th before coming running back. He is still one of Trump's staunchest defenders. And, man, Donald Trump gave him little to no support or cover right there.
Yeah, that was what we call ritualistic humiliation, I believe.
Tough to watch.
In his home state, nonetheless. It's brutal. But, you know, to a degree, Graham kind of invites this stuff. I was recalling with someone how a couple weeks ago, Lindsey Graham had gone to some convention. It was like, you know, if you can't support a 14-week abortion ban federally, then you don't deserve to be president. And then Trump has refused to support the ban, but Graham is supporting Trump for president. So, you know, Lindsey does invite this type of stuff occasionally. That said, you know, this is really about Trump. I was, you know, not impressed because I sort of expect this stuff at this juncture, but that rally over the weekend, I think you said a show of force is probably the right way to put it. A small town, they call themselves a city of 3,000, an estimated 50,000 people showed up. This is in the home state of two other Republican presidential nominees, Tim Scott and Nikki Haley. And this comes at a time when Trump, you know, in all respects should be at a political crossroads. He's referencing this indictment that he's facing, and yet he's using that to his political benefit. It was a remarkable moment that really does underscore this weird place that we're in politically, in which this man who is under incredible pressure and scrutiny and legal problems is well on his way to securing the party's nomination, and there's very little in the foreseeable future that could trip him up.
Yeah, already facing multiple indictments, more on the way, most likely. Let's add a voice to this conversation. Senior columnist for the Daily Beast, Matt Lewis, joins us now. Matt, great to see you. Let's start right there with what we just saw in South Carolina, the show of force from Trump, yes, but also that dynamic with Lindsey Graham, where it is. And yes, there's a uniqueness to their relationship, perhaps, but it just goes to show how Trump can almost any Republican in the party, almost anyone. He says dance, and they say how high. He's pulling the strings.
Yeah, and that's a reminder. I mean, this is not the first time that Trump has really humiliated Lindsey Graham. I remember when he gave Lindsey Graham's cell phone out publicly. And that was, of course, when Lindsey Graham was being critical of Donald Trump. Then Lindsey Graham decides to buddy up to Donald Trump. I think you can make an argument that Graham, a lot of people have kind of bowed the knee to Donald Trump and gotten nothing in return. I think you could argue that Lindsey Graham has probably actually advanced some of his foreign policy goals and worldview by virtue of sucking up to Donald Trump. But remember, there was a time right after January 6th where Lindsey Graham tried to break with Trump temporarily. He was then harassed at Reagan National Airport by Trump fans and very quickly scurried back to Donald Trump. So if nothing else, I think this is a cautionary tale that once you are in the family, the cult, whatever you want to call it, there's, do not waver. And, anytime Donald Trump wants to do so, he can kind of sick his minions, his fans, his his base on you. So Lindsey Graham, get back in line.
Matt.